Russia, the second day of the 16th BRICS Summit concluded with a declaration of a global reform adopted on Wednesday that unanimously approved by all members of the bloc. Russian President Vladimir Putin met with his counterpart, President Nicolás Maduro, on Wednesday to seal strategic alliances in the framework of the 2024 BRICS Summit. In the wake of tropical storm Trami, Philippine rescuers are now wading through deep flood waters to rescue residents trapped by the severe weather. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrera from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We'll begin with the news. Stay with us. In Russia, the second day of the 16th BRICS Summit concluded with the declaration of a global reform adopted on Wednesday that unanimously approved by other members of the bloc. The comprehensive document titled Kazan's Declaration emphasizes all reform in global security and multilateralism gathered in 134 points. It reflects the bloc's collective vision and goals and establishes the future course of actions the BRICS strives to take as it defines to the benchmarks for long-term cooperation. Russian President Vladimir Putin met with his Venezuelan counterpart, President Nicolás Maduro, on Wednesday to seal strategic alliances in the framework of the 2024 BRICS Summit. During the meeting, the Russian head of state thanked the Venezuelan president for attending the Kazan Summit, as well as for participating in the work created by the bloc. They supported the desire of the Venezuelan president to join the BRICS and highlight Venezuela is a great partner for the Eurasian country and other countries of the world. Furthermore, Putin emphasized that strategic relations with Venezuela are increasingly threatened and growing in various commercial areas, and stressed that both countries must continue supporting each other. And the Venezuelan president also held a meeting with the president of the state of Palestine, Mahmoud Abbas, within the framework of the 16th summit of the BRICS. President Nicolás Maduro expressed his support and solidarity with the Palestinian head of state and the people of Gaza. The South American leader emphasized the importance of defending Palestine and the lives of civilians against the genocide committed by Israeli occupation forces, as well as defending the peace and sovereignty of Venezuela against fascism and colonialism. And in keeping with a broad agenda, the Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro also held a meeting with the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed Ali. Both authorities discussed the current main challenges of Global South regarding injustice and sovereignty of the people. The reunion also addressed ways of strengthening bilateral cooperation in different areas of interest. Ethiopia joined the BRICS on January 2024 and is one of the economies of the African continent with the highest registered economic growth. Likewise, President Maduro held a meeting with his Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Both head of states talk about the existing bilateral agreement, which have been keeping up amicable relations for 74 years, which have strengthened since the arrival of the Bolivarian Revolution. Indeed, trade exchange between Caracas and Ankara has made profits of over $500 million so far this year, with estimated financial gains to amount in $100 million by the end of 2024. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro met with his Belarusian counterpart Alexander Lukashenko during the 16th summit of the BRICS in Russia. After his arrival in the city of Kazan on Tuesday night, the Venezuelan president started his work agenda with a bilateral meeting with President Lukashenko. The purpose of the meeting was to go over the cooperation map in progress, where the areas of food, trade, energy, education, and air transport stand out. The reunion was also aimed at strengthening the brotherly relations between both nations. The last time the head of states met was in 1817 during a visit of the Venezuelan leader to the European country. Also, in the framework of the Kazan BRICS Summit, Iranian President Mahmoud Pakistan highlighted the strategic relationship existing between his nation and his nation, Russia, during a speech where he also stressed the need for the end of the U.S. totalitarianism in the world and the Western countries' embargo in Iran.
Our relationship with you is strategic and essential. This relationship is certainly very useful for us, just as it is important for our dear neighbor, Russia. We can have constructive interactions within the framework of the BRICS, an organization of which we have become a permanent member thanks to your support. We hope that we can break the embargo that the United States has imposed on us and the totalitarianism that it has created in the world, that we can maintain political, economic, cultural, and scientific relations with each other, and that we can quickly sign memorandums of understanding between our two countries.
During his intervention in a closed format meeting of the 6th BRICS Summit, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi referred to the benefits of the cooperation among member nations as well as India's commitment to enhance cooperation under the BRICS.
Friends, in its new form, the BRICS economy exceeds $30 trillion. The BRICS Business Council and the BRICS Women Business Alliance have played a special role in enhancing our economic cooperation. This year, the consensus reached among BRICS nations regarding WTO reforms, trade facilitation in agriculture, resilient supply chains, e-commerce and special economic zone will strengthen our economic cooperation. Amidst all these initiatives, we should also focus on the interests of small and medium enterprises. India is fully committed to enhancing cooperation under the BRICS. Our diversity and our strong belief in multipolarity are our strength. This strength of ours and shared belief in humanity will help in giving a meaningful shape to the prosperous and strong future of our future generations.
Let's take a very short break, but remember, you can now join us on our TikTok account at teleSUR English, where you'll be able to see news in different formats, news updates and more. Stay tuned for more news. Welcome back to From the South. In Palestine, the Health Ministry noted that death toll continues on a rise, amounting to 42,792 deaths and 100,412 injured in a year of Israeli genocide. The ministry detailed Israeli strikes claimed 74 lives in the previous 24 hours. Even an employee of the United Nations Relief Work Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East was hit to death by the shelling. UNRWA members are the military targets of Israeli forces, as then it said had passed 2 bills to stop the agency's humanitarian actions. Moreover, the southern Khan Yunis, Israeli missiles killed 2 Palestinians, while in northern Gaza, Zionist forces hit hospitals and refuge shelters, killing 4 people in the Tufa town, and others got injured. All were taken to Al Ahli Hospital. In Israel, the human rights organizations B'Tselem denounced an ethnic cleansing in northern Gaza. The well-known Israeli NGO claims that relentless offensive, in addition to serving thousands of people and depriving the sick of medical care to levels that defied comprehension, has isolated northern Gaza from the world. The organization emphasized that it is clearer than ever that Israel intended to forcibly displace the residents of the northern Gaza by committing some of the most serious crimes under international law. In Ankara, Turkish Interior Minister Ali Yerlikaya confirmed on Wednesday that terrorists attacked at a leading TUSA's airspace company of the Karaman-Kazan district. The minister informed that the blast was followed by the gunfire, leaving a still inaccurate number of deaths and injuries. The company has been dedicated to manufacturing military aircraft and space equipment and is the main facility of the Turkish airspace industry in the capital. In Syria, Palestinians living in the country honored with multiple activities. The martyrdom of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar assassinated last Friday by Israeli forces in southern Gaza. Our correspondent Hisham Wenus with the details.
Palestinians living in Syria organized a condolence ceremony in the Al Yarmouk refugee camp south of Damascus, during which they highlighted the symbolism of Martyr Sinwar's decision to remain in Gaza during the war and praised the fact that, dressed in his military uniform and with rifle in hand, he fell a martyr while facing the occupation forces on the battlefield.
With this act, besides honoring the martyrdom of our leader, we ratify that our people and all factions of the Palestinian resistance will continue with the support of their allies of the Axis of Resistance, the battle they are fighting against the American Zionist project that seeks to create a new Middle East and that not only attempts against Palestine, but also against all the countries of the region.
We honor the memory of Yahya al-Sinwar, who was martyred while facing the occupation forces on the battlefield, in an action that fills us with pride and dignity and encourages us to continue the struggle, because contrary to the wishes of the enemy, the martyrdom of the resistance leaders does not cause us frustration, but makes us stronger and firmer.
Yahya Sinwar, a key figure in the political and military leadership of Hamas, led Operation Al-Aqsa Deluge in defense of the Palestinian people, including those held hostage in occupation prisons. This was emphasized by Palestinian prisoner advocates at a sit-in protest they organized in front of the headquarters of the International Committee of the Red Cross Mission in Damascus.
We will undoubtedly continue the path traced with the blood of the martyrs, headed by the leader of the resistance who fell while fighting in defense of our rights, and we assure to continue supporting by all means our brothers who fight against the occupation in defense of our brothers in Gaza.
From here we ratify to follow the example of Sinwar, to sacrifice our lives in defense of our cause. And we assure that every child, every young person, and every old person in Gaza, the West Bank and South Lebanon, will be another Sinwar who will not stop fighting against the United States and Israel until the recovery of our lands and the liberation of our prisoners in Israeli jails.
Meanwhile, the genocidal Israeli war continues unabated, especially against northern Gaza, where the resistance fighters, guided by the example of their martyred leader, are boldly confronting the Zionist and American war machine. A totally different scenario from the claims of Washington and Tel Aviv that the resistance has been weakened by the martyrdom of Sinwar and that there is now a chance to stop the war.
Hisham Wenus, teleSUR, Damascus, Syria.
Let's take our last break, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, where you'll be able to watch all interviews, sub stories, special broadcasts, and more. Hit the subscribe button and active the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. We'll financial breakdown, go away. Welcome back. In Mexico City, a group of women work in a profession historically dominated by men. Auto mechanic. Let's see more details.
Beatriz is
an engineer in automotive mechanics. She has been working in the field for 20 years. The last 3 years, she has been dedicated to the Rosa Engineering Project, the first school and workshop for the training of women technicians.
The respect to be able to do what you want without having that stigma, that if you're a man, you have to dedicate yourself to masculine jobs. If you are a woman, you have to dedicate yourself only to putting on clothes. In reality, it is a respect that generates social freedom.
For Beatriz, the main challenge is to eliminate gender stereotypes.
It is impossible for society to have a woman under a car in automotive repair. The most important thing is to incorporate women into the workforce in an industry that for years was led by men.
Rosa Engineering is a workshop and a free school for the students, but also an opportunity for the students to achieve their dreams.
In cars, I would love to get to where my dad was. He was a good chief racing mechanic, and I would love to be in racing. I would like to be more in the races than in the shop. The fact of traveling from one place to another in the states of the Republic would fascinate me.
Carmen joined the Rosa Engineering Academy 2 years ago. She was an outstanding student, and today she is a workshop worker, but it hasn't been easy.
They still come to ask about the man, about the mechanic. In the project, I do believe that there are many people who trust us, even though it is a group of women. But outside there are still issues. They always check my hands to see if they have been mistreated, to see if I have cuts, to see if I have a bruise or something, because they don't believe that I am doing this.
At the end of this year, Rosa Engineering will participate in the Noti Auto Cup, taking the first racing team formed by women to one of the top racing circuits, the Autodrome Hermanos Rodriguez. For the students of the Academy of Automotive Mechanics Rosa Engineering, one thing is very clear. It is easier to disassemble an engine than a prejudice.
Antonio Aranda, teleSUR, Ciudad de México.
Moving on, in the wake of tropical storm Trami, Philippine rescuers are now wading through deep floating waters to rescue residents trapped by the severe waters. The storm, which is approaching the country's east coast, has triggered widespread evacuations and devastating floodings. The torrential rains associated with Trami have transformed streets into rivers, submerged entire villages, and buried vehicles up to their dorsal handles. According to the police reports, at least 32,000 people have been forced to flee their homes in the northern Philippines. The government has shut down schools and government offices, and storm warnings have been raised in multiple provinces, including the densely populated capital of Manila. The Indian capital, New Delhi, has been engulfed in a thick, acrid smoke of the city's air pollution levels has been classified as hazardous for the first time this winter. This severe air quality is largely attributed to the burning of farm stubble by farmers in neighboring regions and the use of fireworks, particularly in the land of the Hindu festival of Diwali on November the 1st. Despite the hazardous conditions, many residents wear masks, highlighting the ongoing struggle with air pollution in the city. The air quality is expected to deteriorate further as Diwali approaches, with smoking fireworks adding to the already toxic air. The combination of stubble burning, vehicle pollution, and industrial emissions has turned New Delhi's streets into a health hotspot, prompting concern from both locals and national authorities. We have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our socials from Facebook, on X, and on Instagram as well. For Telesur English, I'm from the South, I'm Ana Marrero. Thank you for watching.